You understand it, you start getting it, you get an A on the exam, justification by faith, but you actually don't believe it. Your heart doesn't see. You're still trying to cleanse and beautify yourself through something else. So unless you see you're not just breaking the rule, but you see it as not in line with the gospel, you will never understand and you will never be able to do anything about yourself. The only way you can make any of these changes is not just to berate yourself and say, I'm breaking the rule. God is going to get me. God is going to punish me. My conscience is being violated. Something, here. No. What you have to do, church, is you have to see exactly where you're turning away from Jesus Christ to something else. What you have to do is you have to see exactly where you are desperately hoping that something will give you this warmth that your cold self-image is showing, right? When the only place that will warm you is the fire of God's love through Jesus Christ. We use a lot of things to warm ourselves, to warm our cold self-image. And the only thing that will warm us is the fire of God's love. So the gospel is not an elementary doctrine that you understand it in order to get to the kingdom. And the way you grow as you advance to something else. We all need to go back to the gospel. And I'll finish with this. Dr. Richard Lovelace, I read this a long time ago. It says, and he said, every person's problem with sanctification is really just a problem with justification. Every person's problem with their sanctification is a problem with justification. Which is not, I'll explain it, but it's just not what we hear from most preachers. We always hear from preachers talk about sanctification, and when they talk about sanctification, they say, you are not holy enough. You don't pray enough. You don't read your Bible enough. You don't do this enough. And in turn, it puts in your hands the ability to be holy. And I'll say it again. Every person's problem with sanctification is really just a problem with justification. Why? Because sanctification is just the process of becoming more and more holy and good. That's what sanctification is, right? The process of becoming more and more holy and good. More and more free and more like Jesus Christ. And justification is you're completely accepted because of who Jesus Christ is. So Lovelace says, the reason you have any troubles with sanctification is you don't believe or understand your justification. You're not living out your justification. You're not living through it. You're putting your own salvation on your own hands, your own sanctification on your own hands, and you're not realizing that you have been justified by grace alone, through faith alone, on Jesus Christ.